Hey guys, today I want to talk to you guys about a lot of the misconceptions that Africans and African Americans have about one another. And the reason why they have this misconception is because we were both mischaracterized intentionally, deliberately, folks, by the propaganda machine of the West, specifically America. They wanted African Americans to think very poorly about Africa, and vice versa. They wanted Africans to think absolutely the best about America. And sometimes I ask myself, why would they do that? We all know why they did it. But coming from the American side, we know we were lied to because everything that we were shown about Africa, all it showed was what we saw from TV commercials. It was showing the children with the swollen bellies. We would see the men and women walking around topless with just loincloths on. And sometimes the man would even have a spear in his hand for good measure. And they would always be out living in a hut, not a house, but a hut in the middle of the jungle or somewhere near the jungle. And they were being attacked by wild animals, things like that. I mean, that's what was depicted about Africa to Americans and pretty much the world. So fortunately, as Americans, specifically African Americans, we have become woke to the fact that that is not the case. But there are growing cities, burgeoning cities all across many African countries. That's one of the reasons why so many people from the diaspora are here, is because the scales have fallen from our eyes. So I want to do the same thing with Africans. I want to remove the scales from their eye. For example, where I live, it's not in an affluent part of Africa or Ghana. It's in a growing suburb area. And as you can see, there is really a lot of growth occurring, a lot of construction going on everywhere. The place is constantly in flux. And please note the homes that are being newly constructed. I mean, these homes are massive. So this is a far cry from what we've been led to believe about Africa. The streets may be unpaved, as you can see, but the houses are fire, as my nieces say. But now, I'm not saying Africa's perfect. It's far from perfect. There's a lot that needs to be done. There's a long way to go. So the scales have been removed from our eyes. We have come to know that Africa is a very beautiful continent consisting of 54 diverse countries that are doing far better than we were led to believe. And many are highly developed, beautiful metropolitan areas, burgeoning suburbs that can easily give the Western countries a run for their money. I mean, for example, we have Kigali, Rwanda, Lagos, Nigeria, Abidjan, Ivory Coast. You would actually never know these cities even existed. I mean, look how beautiful they are. You would not know if it was just left up to the American media propaganda machine. But fortunately, we have YouTubers, we have other media outlets that have covered Africa in the true state that it is in. So now let's turn the tables. Let's look at how Africans have been lied to regarding America. I mean, I really feel that it's very important to bring this out because frankly, I'm really getting tired of people asking me why I moved here. The other day, a man just asked me that again. When he asked me that, I said, why not? Why not move to Ghana? So I really feel like it's very important to let everyone know, the world know about how it really is in America. America always shows you one side. It shows you the rich. It shows you, it tells you that it's a land of opportunity for everyone and that everyone is rich or makes a lot of money. And you don't really have to work that hard to get what you want. Not the case, folks. And the American media propaganda works hard to put that in front of everyone's face by showing everyone the big houses that people live in, the expensive cars people drive, people dripping in diamonds and taking beautiful vacations to exotic places, and so on. I mean, the list goes on and on about how they portray America. And that may be the case for only a small percentage, a very small percentage of Americans, but not for the majority. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. So let's take a look at the part of America that you don't see, that the American mainstream media does not want you to see. So I'm going to remove the scales from the eyes of Africans so that they will know or won't be surprised that if they ever got over to America at what they see. And they also will no longer ask, Why are people from the diaspora here? Why they leave this beautiful country of America, of the USA? So I was saying that only a small percentage of Americans live life like that, like the life you see on TV. But the rest of the people, as Donna Summer says, they work hard for their money. We know that a lot of Americans make a lot more money than Africans, but many still find it hard to make ends meet. They don't show you the struggle or plight of many families living from paycheck to paycheck. And those are the families that might be considered fortunate, because many families can't even make ends meet at all. So some American families actually live on the street, and that's because of loss of job. They have no more income. Their unemployment has run out, and they're left moneyless. So they're on the street. They also do not understand about the great racial divide that goes on in America, that affords some far less opportunity than others just because of the color of their skin. And let me give you one example. I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and there was a Caucasian man, and he worked at a bank. He previously worked at a bank, and he said that his position was of a personal banker. And what he said he witnessed there was deplorable in his eyes. He said that he would see African Americans come in the bank wanting a loan, as well as Caucasians coming into the bank wanting a loan as well. He said that a Black person could be making more money, they could have a higher credit score, and receive a higher interest rate on their loan than their white counterpart, who make less money and have a lower credit score. So by no means am I implying that you'll find it everywhere you go, but it is something that you will indeed face when you're in America. Sometimes it's blatant, sometimes it's a little less blatant, it's more subtle. And in many cases, probably the majority of cases, you don't even know what's going on because it's something going on behind the scenes. So just be aware of that. But getting back to the jobs aspect, many Africans believe that jobs are always easier in America and they're less labor intensive. And that's a true statement. I cannot lie on both accounts, because the unemployment rate is very low at this time. It's relatively low in America. And as far as the labor intensive aspect of it, in Africa, you see people, let's say, for example, working on construction sites. They don't have the tools, the equipment, not that they can't get access. I guess the company owners don't want to spend the money, but they don't use like motorized electric equipment tools. They will use manual tools. For example, a saw. They won't use an electric saw. You'll see them going back and forth with the saw. So that is one thing. Oh yeah, and it's always hot. It is always hot in Ghana, of course. So you're working out there in the hot sun. The conditions are very difficult. So yeah, jobs are easier to do in America than they are in Africa. So we've established those two facts, that it's easier to get a job in America and the jobs are less labor intensive. So what I want to do now is take a look at what the average American household spends annually, according to the World Population Review for 2023. So what it does is they take a look at the cost of living in the United States. So the average family of four in the United States requires, or they're saying it will require $68,000, close to $69,000 a year to cover just the basic necessities, which is food, shelter, healthcare, and childcare. All right. Again, just the bare minimum costs of your expenses. Then we have, on the other hand, the median household income in the United States, and they project that at being roughly $67,500 a year. So you're already running at a deficit, folks. So this means someone's going to have to get a second job, right? So now what about those who've earned a degree? Because the incomes I just mentioned could be earned by a two-earner household with no college degree. So now let's talk about those who've earned college degrees abroad, such as in Africa, and they wish to move to the US. Well, unless your degree program is accredited by an internationally recognized body, it probably won't be of much use here or much use there in America. And you'd have to actually start from scratch, meaning if you get over to America, you're going to have to get that same degree over again, or you can go for another degree in its entirety. So I'm only touching on the tip of the iceberg as far as what the propaganda machine, the American propaganda machine, media machine, has left out. But this at least gives you a reason why America may not be all what you think America is like. And you're not so shocked as to why people from the diaspora are moving here. So I hope you found this video very beneficial, and you will subscribe to my channel, you will like the video, you will share the video, and you will even leave a comment as to the information that you just received, okay? So I want you guys to enjoy your day, and till next time, see ya.